have read my favorite books so many times, and I would ask you, how long does it really take to read a poem by Emily Dickinson? I don't think that reading it once suffices. And I think that the best games are games that we can play over and over again, and that we can have this kind of rich, layered unfolding of experiences over the course of our lives with these games. And in the same way that we can read a favorite story or look at a beautiful painting that's hanging on our walls, and one day you look at it and it's just different. And I think that games like those other experiences have this richness in them. And so I wouldn't say that they should be finished. In fact, I prefer games that feel unfinishable, that feel like things like rituals almost that we might do, every year around the same time. That's the kind of game that I think we need more of. In fact, if you actually think about that boss monster in a game, generally, the skills that you're using to fight that boss monster are ones that you've developed over, various other parts leading into that boss fight, right? So it isn't that you have an epic experience that you haven't had any part of before. You learn a particular technique, then you learn it in a new context, then you have to do it more or faster, better, more strategically, and then you have to combine all the other things that you were learning in order to defeat that monster. And so you're bringing together all these skills that you've been practicing and learning, and you're sort of performing a kind of mastery, right? And that performance is wonderful. It's like when you learn a new song. If I practiced piano when I was growing up, and you learn a new song and you play it once and you play it great, right? Well, that's not the only time you're going to play that song, right? It feels good to have a sense of mastery and to perform that mastery. And so you really would, I think, like to play it again because you like to show that mastery and use those skills that you developed. So, sometimes, you feel like you beat a game, you're never going back. I think that's actually kind of sad. I prefer games where you might want to go back in and, not only just try a different path, but just sort of perform better, perform in more interesting, discover new ways to perhaps achieve the end.